All right, so I know people people are desperate for news. So you're sitting here and you're looking at news and you're looking at articles and you're looking at tweets, and I came across one that I was just like, "Okay." And then I read it and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it is this thing, and the title is "It Just Means More. Chiefs versus Lions is game of the century for Detroit." Okay, Chiefs versus Lions is game of the century for Detroit. So in this one, I kind of want to just talk a little bit about what that means. I want to get the take and listen to this for a little bit. And I would love to flood the comment section with what you believe to be the game of the century. So since 2000 for the Detroit Lions. And when they say game of the century here, they mean if the Lions win, which is crazy to think about. So let's just put this into perspective. The Detroit Lions are playing the first game of the regular season. Now, it is a big first game. They're going into Arrowhead Stadium, quite possibly the loudest, most difficult place to play. It is at night, which makes it even crazier. At least it's in September, so it's not cold, right? Now, we've proven we can win cold games late in the season at night. Huh? You see what I did there? Yeah, I don't like the Packers. All right. So, anyways, with that being said, we know that this is a big game, but it's the first game of the season. So here's what his argument is. First, he makes the argument for why we could win. He says Chris Jones is on a contract holdout. Charles Omenihu, all right, fellow defensive lineman, is serving a 6-game suspension, so they're shorthanded on the defensive line. Now, he didn't make this argument. I'm going to add to that to say that I think we're going to try and run the ball like crazy against the Chiefs. All right, I think there's going to be a lot of running, and we're going to see if we can control the football to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Also, a good running attack is a road game's best friend. You take the crowd out of it, you just demoralize them by 4-yard run after 4-yard run after 6-yard run after 5-yard run, if we can do that. Also, you have Travis Kelce, who has this whole hyperextended knee. What do? We had a fantasy football draft last night. Do you draft him? Don't you draft him? I don't know. Nobody knows. They believe his ACL is intact, so I think he'll play some, but we know legitimately nothing. So he goes on to make the argument that it's a tantalizing opportunity for the Lions, a little more possible, to walk into Arrowhead Stadium to kick off the NFL season and secure the most significant win the franchise has had this century. Yes, this century. Okay, so he kind of has a recency bias on this. He talks about how the next biggest win of the century was most likely against the Green Bay Packers last year to finish the season 8-2 in a, wait for it, he used the word meaningless game against the Packers to prevent them from making the wild card. He's 100% wrong and 100% right. Like, I don't know how that's possible because it felt so big in the moment and we all knew that. But going into it, we also all knew this game doesn't matter. But then you see what the guys did. You see them hold Green Bay from the playoffs and you're just like, no, this game does matter. Like, this is important. So there's a lot of things and a lot of questions that they have over that. Yes, we all know we haven't won a playoff game since 91. Fun fact about that. It was actually 1992. It was January 5th, 1992 that we obliterated the Cowboys 38-6. Go back and watch it on YouTube sometime. The clarity is actually amazing. You get Eric Kramer. Like, it's a lot of fun to watch, especially the second half. But anyways, whatever. All right. Has there been a win? There hasn't been a playoff win. I'm trying to think of big regular season wins. A lot of them come when we don't have a good record and it feels like we're already out of it. I think what felt like a massive win for the franchise is when we beat the Patriots under Patricia. And we're like, is this going to work? And that was quickly stopped from us. So a loss here is just a normal loss. And I think that's the argument that I'm going to make here. A loss here is a normal loss. It's what was expected. But a win, what that could propel us to is remarkable. So a loss is just a loss, but a win could be something different entirely. Something different entirely. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second, but then I also wanted to talk about the fact that the Lions actually named their starting captains this year. And I can share that screen with you as well. I just decided to put it on here because honestly, we just didn't have enough time to do multiple different videos. So, anyways, the Detroit Lions announced 6 captains. We have 3 offensive captains, 2 defensive captains, and a special teams one. And these were based on a vote by the members of the team, is what it says. I don't know if that means coaches, players combo or whatever. I'd have to find another article to do that. I want to say they did something unique last year. But, anyways, on offense, it's kind of what you'd expect. Jared Goff, St. Brown, and Penei Sewell. Goff, St. Brown, Sewell. On defense, Alex Anzalone and Charles Harris. Special teams, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. All right, back on the team after a 1-year hiatus, and he becomes a special teams capitan. All right, that's impressive. So here's what the captains tell me. You can't find a lot from it. What it tells me is that Goff is still Goff. St. Brown is still St. Brown, but you love seeing Penei Sewell be the captain as well, even over Frank. I actually love seeing this. That tells me that maybe he's taken that next step kind of in a leadership role, holding accountability. There's 2 guys on that offensive line that are more experienced and good players, Taylor Decker and Frank Ragnow, arguably just as good as Sewell. And for Sewell to get the nod tells me maybe he's taken that next step, both as a vocal leader, but also with his play on the field. On the defense, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yup, we know the young guys are coming. We know they're coming. We know we got Brian Branch. We know that we have got a lot of different things. And I know I just said Branch. We have Jack Campbell. We have Aiden Hutchinson. We've got all these young guys, young talent, but there is still a veteran presence that can play. And that is what we need to have success this year. So linebacker Alex Anzalone and defensive end Charles Harris represent that. These guys didn't even play in the preseason, I don't think. They did not play at all because their jobs are secure and they're playing well. I think Jalen Reeves-Maybin being the special teams captain just shows you that it was a good signing. We have depth at linebacker. He's our 5th linebacker, but he is elite special teams player. He's an elite special teams player. So this is a big deal. Yeah, so there you go. Win of the century. I don't know. You give me your take on that. Do you like the captains? Oh, I can't wait to watch the game. We're going live. We're going live. Join us. Let's have a party. We're going live for the game. We'll start at 8:00, and depending on the turnout, we might watch the whole game with you. I think it would be a blast. So, hey, anyways, that's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed the show, and please comment, subscribe, like it, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.